Hi friends, continuing our last class, today we are going to discuss about functions of financial market. So in the earlier class we have discussed what does financial market means. Financial market is the place where financial assets are bought and sold or traded, right? Now, what are its functions? What are the various functions of financial market? So broadly we can classify these function into economic function and financial functions. Why we are segregating these functions on the basis of economic or intermediary function or financial function is, so these financial markets help to rejuvenate any country's economy. It boosts country's economy and it provides liquidity to the uh, economic system of a country, right? So on the basis of these economic development and as well as financial functions, so I have enlisted these functions, and also you can write some more functions, like, say for example, economic or intermediary function, in the sense it acts as an intermediary between those people who have surplus funds and those people who need fund for various other purposes, right? Now, financial markets provide a mechanism for transfer of economic resources, right? Economic resources in the sense money and monetary assets, various financial assets, right? So financial markets provide mechanism for transfer from where and to where. So it transfers these economic resources from those people who have surplus income or surplus money with them, and it transfers the same to those people who need money for certain investment purposes, right? So this is the foremost economic function of the financial market. It acts as a middleman or intermediary between these two people who have surplus money and those who intends to invest but they need money from somewhere, right? And the next function will be, these markets also contribute to the growth of national and per capita income. You have studied these things in your 11th and 12th standard also. Per capita income means an individual's income, right? Per capita, to calculate per capita income, you have uh, a formula called national income divided by total population. So if our national income is 100 rupees and our total population is 10, then the 10 rupees will be per capita income. That is individual's income in a country. That's if the population is reduced by 5, per capita income will be 20, right? So this is how per capita income and national income is is the indicator of any economic condition of the country, right? So these markets contribute to the growth of national and per capita income. How do they contribute? What are these financial markets contribution? See, if I have surplus money and I have invested somewhere, or I have deposited my money in SBI, and SBI gives loan to some business people who are going to start certain business, like maybe they are starting to distribute automobile in this area. So if they starting business, they need people, they need employees, right? If they employed people, then they will provide salary to them, and if the salary given to someone, that is his income, right? He spends that salary in certain to meet his expenditure. He buys clothing, he goes to hotel, he buys another bike or car, it seems. So if he spends, if his expenditure goes on, then it will be multiplied. If he buys new clothing, then that clothing company will get income, that company's revenue grows, right? That textile company's income grows. That's how these economic multipliers work. So these financial markets, the foremost objective and foremost function of the financial market is to mobilize these funds from surplus to those who need money, right? So if the needy people for investment purpose or business people gets abundant fund, then they will start producing, they start manufacturing something and they start their own business. If they start certain thing, then they ultimately, eventually they employ people for their business. They provide salary to them. Then those people who get salary will spend their income. If they spend, they buy something. If they buy something, the demand for that particular product grows up. So this is how all the economy runs. Any country's economy runs, right? So to run this economy smoothly, smooth functioning of this economy largely depending upon the establishment of financial markets. If the financial markets are well established in any country, then these these funds will be these funds get mobilized from surplus to investment, right? So this is how it works. These markets contribute to the national and per capita income. These two are the major indicator of economy to measure the economy in any country, right? Then these markets put the economic resources to proper use. So how my deposit money is being used, that's it is why it is called properly used, because the banks or money market lends to those people who are using it properly, right? So if any person uses improperly, then they won't give loan to them, right? If your purpose is very clear, if you have a good business idea with you, then only these bankers or financial institutions lend loans to them. That's how they check their project reports periodically and they give loan uh, as soon whenever they need it, right? Then they help in increasing the standard of living and welfare of people. It is ultimate that if the per capita income is increased, if the per capita income is increased, then that person's standard of living is also gets increases, right? So if my income increases from rupees 100 to rupees 200, then my standard of living, my living standard and my lifestyle will ultimately positively change according to my income increases, right? So this standard of living is directly related and positively correlated to per capita income. That's how. If the population is, see, say for example, if the national income is 100 and population is 100, per capita income will be only 1. If the national income, the entire national income is 100 rupees and the total population in the country is, then per capita income will be 2, right? So if the per capita income increases from 1 rupee to 2 rupees, then ultimately this person's standard of living is also it gets affected, right? So this is how, when the per capita income increases, standard of living of the people also increases, right? So these are the economic or intermediary functions of financial markets. When we talk about financial functions, see these financial functions again, if any person or group of persons intends to start their business, then they need money. That is called capital. Minimum money required to start any business or venture is called as capital. If they need capital, then they have to search for prospective resources. So in the earlier class, we were discussing the various sources of capital. Like you can borrow it from the bank, that is called debt, or debenture in your balance sheet. You have studied in your 11th and 12th commerce, PUC first and PUC second, right? So, so various sources are, one is debt, debenture, and another source is equity shares. You can distribute shares to general public, and if the general public subscribe these shares, then you get money, you get capital, right? Share capital. So this is what financial functions of financial markets. So it strengthens the base of capital formation in the country. Again, it is entirely related. It entirely affects the growth of country's economy again. See, if I get abundant capital, I can start my own business. If I start my own business, I employ people, I give them salary, their standard of living increases, and their welfare. I also look about their welfare also. So this is how entire country's economy gets affected by financial markets, right? So it helps in accumulating or formation of capital, financial market. That objective of the financial market is also to form or to create capital, right? To form the capital or accumulate capital. So this is how financial function of financial markets works. Then it provides adequate liquidity. Liquidity, the word liquidity means ready money, availability of money with them. See, if I invest, if I subscribe, say for example, Reliance company's share today. So then I subscribe this Reliance company share for 10,000. Now I have paper with me, Reliance shares, that is electronic paper, e-paper, and my money is in the form of share certificate, right? So 10,000 of money is in the form of certificate, that is in the paper format or e-paper format, that is in my software, that is in my computer, or that is in my mobile phone, right? So if I need money back, then I sell that share to someone else in the secondary market. We will discuss it later in detail. If I sell this share certificate in secondary market, then I get my money back. That is how ready liquidity, ready money available in the economy. Because of these financial markets, see, in the first class itself, we are categorizing financial market as money market and capital market. So capital market is further classified or categorized into two parts. One is primary market and another one is secondary market. So if I sell my share in secondary market, I get my liquidity. I get my money back, right? So this is what financial markets provide. Ready ready market for any financial instruments or financial assets. I can convert it into money at any point of time. That's how financial markets work, right? Then it facilitates in portfolio management. Creating portfolio means it is the basket wherein various diversified shares and stocks are put together, right? See, if I have, for example, if I have 10,000 rupees to invest, I have surplus money 10,000 with me. So I would like to invest in share market, and I can put it in various sectors. Say, for example, I can buy the software company's share for 2,000 rupees. I can invest my 2,000 in software industry. I can put another 5,000 in automobile industry, and remaining 3,000 rupees I can put in pharmaceutical industry, right? So I have invested this, I segregated this 10,000 into various parts, and I invested in software industry, automobile industry, and pharmaceutical industry. So if in case, if in case software industry is not doing well, then automobile industry may give me great return on my investment. So this portfolio means if you put all these various industry into one basket, it is called as portfolio, right? So financial markets give me good information, real information and genuine information about how these industries are performing. If the software, say, if the software industry, they provide me balance sheet and profit and loss account of all the companies related to software industry, Infosys, the Tata Consultancy Services, Wipro, various software companies' financial reports I get periodically. That too genuine information. So these are the various financial functions of financial markets. So you can enlist many more functions along with these things, like determination of, it facilitates issuing of shares and debentures. So it facilitates market. It informs the general public about these ABC companies issuing shares in particular date, right? So it helps general public to invest, to park their money safely and it helps industries or those business people who needs money. It supports them by accumulating capital, formation of capital. So in today's class, before concluding today's class, today we have discussed functions of financial markets. In the functions of financial market, we have segregated these functions into economic function and financial functions. Economic function is related to country's economy, per capita income, national income, and entire company's GDP, etc., etc. That's how financial markets help in country's economy. Then financial functions in the sense raising of capital, investment, and portfolio management. It provides liquidity at any point of time, etc., etc. Right? So in the next class, we will start what is money market. That is the type of financial market. One is money market and another one is capital market. In the next class, we will start money market and what are the objectives of money market, functions of money market, and instruments of money market. Right? Thank you.